An explosion. He said multiple ambulances were called in. Of course, him sending prayers out to the community for any people hurt in this incident. Now, it's been quite a chaotic scene just getting out here because of where they have. You can see there's a man here directing traffic. I'm not sure if he works with the plant or not, but they want to keep people as far back as they possibly can. So we are about 2 blocks from the entrance of that plant, trying to gather some information, talk to people who were there. We've got one of our crews right beside me actually trying to gather some information from some witnesses right now, so we'll bring that to you soon. But again, multiple injuries reported. We're just working to learn exactly what happened here and what led up to this. Shannon.
Wow. With me a little bit. So you see an ambulance coming up there. So let's keep your camera on. Kaylee's camera. I want to know who her photographer is.
Yes.
They're doing a great.
It's Louis Griffith.
Louis doing a great job here.
Ambulance as it's leaving the scene.
Yeah. So.
And this is one of many, Shannon, that we've seen.
Got it. So what you're seeing, Kaylee, and what you're seeing to our viewers out there right now, we've taken Louis Griffith's camera here. It's all hands on deck here. You see very concerned members of the community responding right away, running to the danger. You see people directing traffic, doing what they can. You see police officers there doing their jobs. We see fire trucks in the background, the apparatus. So we see the vehicles that these folks use, and we see the people. We see the individuals and the folks who are now responding to this emergency because we know that there are injuries associated with this. You hear those sirens. Here comes another ambulance as well. And what Kaylee is doing right now is she is on the ground trying to get folks to give us some details about what's taking place here, responding to this emergency. You see fire, that appears to be a firefighter, a first responder there coming in a personal vehicle to see what they can do, help out here at this scene. And we want to know first and foremost, what is the injury situation? Who has been injured, how many, and how seriously? If there's a fire and an explosion, we're going to ask first about burns and how those folks get treated. We know Pittsburgh has a very important and effective burn unit at UPMC Mercy Hospital, too. We're going to find out if those folks are going to that hospital and what U.S. Steel and the emergency professionals in Allegheny County are able to tell us in these immediate moments after an explosion and a fire at the U.S. Steel Clairton Coke Works that sits right on the Monongahela River. Kaylee, I'm going to come back to you right now, and I'm just going to ask you to explain to us, first of all, I'm asking you to kind of use your 5 senses for us because we're not there. Are you smelling smoke?
Mm-hmm. You know, Shannon, I really don't smell smoke or even see it very heavily at this point. And I'm going to remove my earpiece for just a moment so I can hear a little bit more clearly. But I will say we could see it coming from a distance as we were getting into Clairton. It's cleared up quite a bit since then. But I also want to point out what Louis is showing you right now. We can see more ambulances coming out. This scene has grown significantly since we got here just in the last few minutes. We attempted to pull in right behind this speedway to where you can see officers out in front of us. We attempted to get to a spot there so we could give you a closer look. Immediately, people came rushing over and asked us to move back. So then we realized, okay, this scene is expanding. We need to move back to give them their space to work. And again, this intersection has been, quite congested since then. People slowing down, trying to figure out what's going on. People stopping to watch. So they're obviously trying to look out for the safety of those who are just coming here with questions too, whether they know somebody at the plant or they're just driving by. It's obviously a point of interest when you see this much commotion right outside a plant like this, and so many questions obviously swirling around at the moment. Shannon.
And I just want to note, Kaylee, that I'm seeing ambulances from Ross Westview, which is not that close to Clairton, and also from Baldwin, which is.
So this facility, the U.S. Steel Clairton plant, often called Clairton Works or Clairton Coke Works, is a massive coke production facility in Clairton, Pennsylvania, just south of Pittsburgh along the Monongahela River. Wow. Owned by United States Steel Corporation, U.S. Steel, primary function is to produce this coke. Wow. What the? I'm just kidding. It is coke, but it's a high carbon fuel made by heating coal in the absence of oxygen. Coke is essential for steel making. It's used in blast furnaces to melt iron, ore, or into molten iron. Size and capacity, the largest coke manufacturing plant in the U.S. with multiple coke oven batteries. Damn. So some type of explosion happened. I don't know about injuries. We've seen ambulances kind of coming and going. Emergency response, firefighters.
Okay. All right. So we are going to go now to a phone interview with Pittsburgh's Action News 4 reporter Yasmin
Thank you, Heather, for the heads
Rodriguez
up.
with somebody who works very close to this. Let's listen to this phone interview.
Tell me what time it happened, what you felt, what was going on.
Oh, I would guess it was probably about 40 minutes ago. Time has flown by. Felt like thunder, but it literally we're on scaffold. Shook the scaffold, shook my chest, and shook the building. And then we saw the dark smoke coming up from the steel mill.
Did you realize it was the steel mill at that time?
Put two and two together, and it's like something bad happened.
And in that moment, did you realize it was the steel mill?
Yeah, you could see it from 837 on the road.
Kind of explain to me what that looks like, that black smoke, and did you see the fire actually billowing?
I did not see any fire. I couldn't see the tops of the flames. All I saw was the black smoke, which has dissipated now. I don't know if they have it under control or whatnot, but not nearly as much smoke as there was a half hour ago.
What does that scene kind of look like now?
Every fire department within 15 miles is here. A lot of ambulances, lots of sirens.
Did you physically hear an explosion?
Oh yeah, it sounded like thunder.
Wow. How far is your work site from the mill?
A half mile to a mile.
So everybody on your site kind of felt it and heard it?
Yeah, not even a half mile. We're pretty close.
Wow, look at that car. Look at that car. That car's like disintegrated.
Background of you. Wow. Have you worked in this area for a long time?
We've been down here for about 2 weeks. We're doing a brick veneer on a building and just so happened to be down here while it was happening.
Any evacuations happening right now in your area?
I honestly, I don't know. I can't speak to that.
Are you guys kind of hunkering down in the meantime?
We're continuing to work. But hopefully, I don't know, maybe it'll be an early quit day. I don't know.
Yeah, the place blows up and y'all still working?
Yeah. Is there anything else about the scene that you can kind of tell us, describe what's going on? Because we're seeing it from that aerial view, but you're kind of seeing it firsthand. Is there anything else that you can kind of tell us that would help?
From my understanding, there was construction going on down there. It might have been because of the Nissan merger or Nippon merger. I'm not sure, but it could be due to some type of construction. Mm-hmm. I can't speak facts. This is all opinion.
Can you still see that smoke though right now?
No, not from where I'm at. It's kind of dissipated enough that it's really not the same billowing cloud that it was when it first happened.
Okay, that's our Yasmin Rodriguez, who is interviewing a person, a worker, separate from the U.S. steel plant there, who was actually doing some construction work on scaffolding nearby when this explosion took place, and that explosion then shook their scaffolding. They heard it, they certainly felt it, and their first concern was with the folks who are at work inside the U.S. steel plant there in Clairton and their safety. And we know that 2 people have been injured, at least 2 people injured in an explosion at U.S. Steel's Clairton Coke Works on the Mon River. And we are gathering a lot of information on this right now. This breaking news, if you're just joining us, we are gathering the facts about what has taken place and what the response is like right now. And for more on this, we're going to go to Pittsburgh's Action News 4 reporter Kaylee Gunderson. She's live there in Clairton, talking with some folks who were there when this happened or close by.
Absolutely. Shannon, I want to bring in William Pierce. He was in this area when this happened. And William, you said you heard an explosion. Tell me what you heard.
It sounded like a really big bang. At first you don't think of nothing because they thought it was the train cars because I live right there as the tracks. And when they pull off, it sounds like that But then I came outside and heard all the sirens, and then there was big black smoke.
And you live in this area?
Yeah.
Okay.
I only been here for like 3 or 4 months.
When you heard that explosion, did your mind go straight to this plant? What was going through your mind?
Thinking probably another leak. Like I think it was last year there was a leak. But then I also have a radio, so they said it was a level 2. And then your first mind thinks you're gonna panic. Are we gonna evacuate? Are we gonna have to evacuate? What's next? Why ain't they gonna let us know? Why ain't they gonna let us know if there's something going on too? Why ain't they coming to houses? Like there's a leak, hey.
And now obviously you're still here, your concern has shifted to the people inside. How are you feeling watching this scene kind of take shape?
Kind of iffy, because I know a friend that works at the gas station. Her son works there, and he said he was inches from death the last leak.
The last leak?
And now your mind thinks about everybody around this area, especially the gas station. That's too close.
All right, thank you, William. I appreciate it. That was William Pierce. He said he was just in the area when he first heard that sound. And then, of course, as the moments went on, he realized that there was something going on at this plant. We'll give you another look back here at the scene as it has continued to grow since you saw it last, Shannon. You can see more police officers, as you mentioned prior, police, EMS coming from all over the county, maybe even outside the county. I'm not sure of that, but I have seen so many different boroughs and townships sending officers and crews in to be here as support. This scene has just continued to grow, and more people have, of course, stopped by to question what's going on. So those answers are what we're working on right now, trying to figure out exactly what happened, how many people could have been a victim of some kind of issue inside that plant, and what their conditions are right now. Shannon.
And Kaylee, we have confirmed that this is an explosion. So there are folks injured, it appears, in an explosion at the Clairton Coke Works. Thanks, Kaylee, for that. I'm going to let you go and get some more information, maybe get some more interviews. Okay, here are the medical helicopters, and we've got Sam Hall in Sky 4. What's going on, Sam?
Shannon, yes, we're seeing another medical helicopter now leave the scene as he takes the one patient away, and yet another medical helicopter will come back in there at the helipad. I'm going to pan back and show you kind of what distance we're talking about from the explosion and fire in the plant to that helipad. You know, keep in mind that U.S. Steel has their own fire department on this site as well, but it's such a large, widespread site. Again, we arriving here about a half an hour ago. We could see thick black smoke as we lifted from Allegheny County Airport, and flames shooting up out of the top of the building here at the Clairton Works at U.S. Steel as crews were fighting the fire. It appears the fire now portion is under control, although there are still some flames in the back half of the building kind of under cover that occasionally they will get water in. We also saw employees and first responders helping someone up from the ground, from the rubble, putting them into a gurney, taking them over to an ambulance, and that ambulance quickly leaving this site. So there certainly have been multiple injuries to deal with here, but again, still smoke and a tremendous amount of rubble. We also saw a vehicle just get burned out and destroyed really by the explosion as it occurred at the time, I'm guessing pretty close to about an hour ago now. More, of course, as we get it from Sky 4. Shannon.
Sam, thank you for that. I want to tell you what we have done here at Pittsburgh's Action News 4 to try to get more information, the latest accurate information about this emergency, this explosion at the Clairton Coke Works. I reached out to U.S. Steel's communications folks, Amanda Malkowski. I asked to interview David Burritt, who is the CEO of U.S. Steel. We would love to hear from him today to explain to us how his company has responded to this emergency and what he has to say to the folks who have been injured and their families, and how he is reacting to this terrible situation in Clairton, in Allegheny County. So we're waiting to hear back to see if they will talk to us. So we're waiting to hear back to see if U.S. Steel's David Burritt will do an interview with us about what's going on.
Okay, let's see if we can listen in a little bit, because the scanner's popping a lot. It's being deemed a mass casualty incident, level 2. Let's listen to some of the chatter right now. Sometimes you get information before the news reports on it, way ahead of time. Okay, this one.
$11.64 to 01. 01 good. 80 case going. Charlie, I'm located.
Multiple people being life flighted. Wow.
Copy.
That money has been promised to do construction. Here's more video from the scene. We just see first responders getting to the smoke and flames right away. Okay, you see. Yeah, this is from one of our photographers just seeing the rush of ambulances and emergency medical personnel speeding there as fast as they can to help out what's been called a mass casualty incident. That means multiple people are hurt. And so that all call goes out to the greater community in the emergency channels from 911 emergency dispatch that, just get there if you can. Firefighters, emergency personnel, some police officers as well. Again, this is video that the mayor of Clairton shot and shared with Pittsburgh's Action News 4. And the mayor of Clairton found out,
you say child's been located?
More than an hour ago now that...
Not confirmed. Stand by. Alright, it's not going to be the same one. There was one located out of jurisdiction.
Several medical helicopters dispatched.
So we're still actively looking in. Affirmative.
Help right away because it is a very scary and dangerous situation, and those folks are being...
Good. Alright, he never pops out on the cameras down here, and it's pointing directly to where he went behind the woods.
They're saying a mass casualty incident upgraded from level 1 to level 3.
Alright, it's possible that he's in that fenced-in lot where the Greek trailer used to be. He's going to possibly be on the riverbank side. They have a camera pointing right at this parking lot. He doesn't pop out.
We still...
SS1 County, East Fire Dispatch. County County. What's your current ETA?
Approximately 5 to 10 minutes, just passing the train tracks on 837 south of the Duquesne Keysport Bridge.
Recent. 80 to 10. Did you show the Pittsburgh K9, that last spot where we saw him by that crane? Negative. I'm walking down to the chief now. He's down there. Hey, he's getting ready to start his dog now. He's pulling him out. Copy. 88 Tubman has that video. Copy.
Structure. It's unclear if there was a wall there that came down. We're going to find out more about exactly what we're looking at. But you can see for yourself, thanks to this shot right here, just how bad the situation is.
Also be advised, we
and
do
what we
have
see is,
SF-50 responding from Washington.
Wow. Mass casualty incident, they're saying.
Personnel are rushing to the scene. We've seen helicopters take off, taking the injured to the hospital. We are working to find out all the information. We have crews on the ground and in the air as we piece together the important information about what's taking place.
So I don't know. Mass casualty meaning a lot of people are hurt. So I don't know to what level.
On the scene of a reported explosion and fire at the U.S. Steel Clairton plant. There are multiple injuries. This all happened just before 11 o'clock this morning, not too long ago. Crews have been on the scene for more than an hour. We have been told there are injuries associated with an explosion here. We've seen medical helicopters leaving the scene, leaving the inside of that plant in Clairton. Covering Allegheny County, Pittsburgh's Action News 4 reporter Kaylee Gunderson joins us live now with what we know so far. Kaylee.
Well, Shannon, this is our vantage point on the ground, looking straight into that entrance of the plant on Maple Avenue. We're a few blocks back, though, for our safety and for the safety of the crews, of course, to give them their space to work and set up a perimeter around the scene. But as you mentioned, an explosion reported, multiple people injured. We're working to learn the extent of those injuries and exactly what happened to lead up to an explosion inside that plant. But like you said, we've seen multiple ambulances coming from all over the county in and out of this scene. Sometimes, as you can see right now, there's an ambulance coming out quietly. We've seen them going in with sirens blaring. So it's been a bit of a different, a mix of urgency from those ambulances. But it seems to be, as we're just watching, perceiving the scene, an all hands on deck situation. We've got crews coming from across the county to help and to be a part of this response. Now, again, this is the Clairton Coke Works plant. It's right off the main route here, State Street. So it's a very busy intersection. We're seeing a lot of people stopping with questions, wanting to know what's going on, and that's what we're trying to figure out right now. But again, just looking at the scene, you can get a sense of the urgency.
The largest Coke facility.
Responders are here, just assisting, doing their job, and hopefully we'll get those answers soon. But again, a very hectic scene right outside the entrance of the Coke Works plant.
Thanks so much. I want you to stay right there, and I want to actually clarify something. If we can come back on camera a little bit to me while we show this scene. We have not heard from U.S. Steel yet. I thought that we did, but we haven't. Who we have heard from is the union, U.S. Steel. The Steelworkers Union, USW, has responded to our questions and our inquiries into what's going on. The USW folks tell us this. We can confirm there's been an incident at the USW, has a team en route. We will let you know if we have any updates on this. So again, the union has responded to us. So far, US Steel has not, but we will bring you their response to this emergency at the Clairton Coke Works as soon as we get that. But back to you, Kaylee. You're seeing folks, if you could just describe what the mood is there in Clairton. We saw just folks rushing in, not just emergency responders, but people who live in that community. It's a pretty stressful situation.
Absolutely, Shannon. We've seen a lot of people rush into the scene very concerned, wanting to know what happened. They have their theories as to why or what they heard. But as you said, we know there was some form of an explosion and that there are people hurt. So people obviously want to show up and get answers to those questions, find out who was involved and exactly the extent of what happened. And we've been seeing people line the blocks as it gets closer to the scene. But just moments ago, I ran into the mayor, Rich Latanzi. He's here with us. Mayor, what can you say just about what you're hearing of this ongoing situation?
Well, obviously it's a tragedy, and like I said, it's just a sad day for Clairton and anyone that's associated with the Clairton Mill or all the families that have families that work in the mill. I mean, to go to work and not knowing if your loved ones are coming home or your kids or just in there with the other workers knowing that, hey, this could be me. And it's just that I got people calling my phone constantly. They want to know information because everyone cares. Some people will ask a little bit about the environment, but most of it has to do about the safety and the welfare of the families. And my heart goes out to everyone. And these things are not supposed to happen. And unfortunately, they do happen from time to time. But God bless everyone. I hope no one was killed. And I hope everybody can recover from this. And it's so unfortunate.
And Is your understanding of what happened at this point the same as ours? Multiple people reported injured after an explosion?
Yeah, I just heard something about an injury. I mean, not an injury, but an explosion in the reversing room, which is between 13 and 15 battery. And it's and the batteries will not, run without the reversing room. But there was some type of explosion, and no one knows what caused it, what the ignition source was. I did hear that there were some people that were injured, and it's just so unfortunate. I don't care if you broke a bone or you had a heart attack or you're in critical condition. It's all sad.
Have you been able to make contact with U.S. Steel or anyone directly related to what's going on in the plant right now?
Well, I do know a few people that work in the plant that are not the higher management right now, because I'm sure they got a plate full on their hands. But I talked to some of the people in the union and some of the workers I know, and unfortunately, they're trying to get answers as well. They mentioned about somebody who's still missing, so there's just so much going on. We'll know more later, but unfortunately, tragedy and another sad thing for Clairton. And U.S. Steel, just saying this is just going to set us back tremendously.
What's your message to the community as they come out here? They have questions and they're obviously concerned about what's going on.
My message to the public is just pray for these people and their family. There's no time there to be pointing fingers and all that. Let's just pray for a good outcome. And like I said, this mill was so instrumental in Clairton's growth. And everybody knows that when you take this job, there's always some danger involved. And like I said, today shows that what these jobs can bring about. And people that don't have respect for steel workers, they got to have respect now to know that this ain't a normal job. This is a job that when you go in any day, any of your life working, that anything can go wrong. And they accept that.
All right, thank you, Mayor. I appreciate it. Again, a positive message from the mayor here, just hopeful that they will have more answers soon. He mentioned that he's hearing possibly one person still missing. That's something that we'll have to confirm officially. He also mentioned some details about where exactly in the plant this might have happened. Those details we will work to confirm as well. But great to hear from the mayor here, as he's very active on scene trying to get information as well from those working inside. And we will continue to do that as well. Shannon.
Haley, you bring up a really interesting point, because we are hearing a lot of things that we aren't reporting yet, because what we need to do is confirm those things. The mayor mentioned one thing about a possible missing person. We're not reporting that because we don't have that confirmed. We have a process here, and confirming information is part of our process so that the information we put out is the best information and is accurate information. So part of Kaylee's job right now is to try to work on confirming that, and she's doing a great job at that. And we have an entire team of people who are doing that. So we've got some information right now from Allegheny County. Kaylee, we're going to check back with you shortly. An Allegheny County spokesperson says just moments ago, Health Department is on scene. So the Allegheny County Health Department is monitoring the air quality there. They monitor that air 24/7, but it sounds like they've got some extra folks working on that right now. Okay, also from Allegheny County, they tell us that emergency services is on scene. That's clear to us. There is an active rescue mission underway for people trapped. So this is the county confirming to us that there is a rescue mission underway for trapped individuals at the Clairton Coke Works. That is a very delicate situation. Okay, the county spokesperson also says this: additional people have injuries but are not in critical condition. We will release further details when we have them. Okay, I want to go back through that real quick just so people can hear that again. So we've heard from Allegheny County. They said that there's an active rescue going on for trapped individuals inside the Clairton Coke Works. There's a rescue mission there for those folks. We know about additional injuries. Those additional injuries are not people who are in critical condition. And they're also monitoring the air quality there. Sam Hall in Sky 4, tell me what you're seeing right now here at 7 minutes after 12.
Well, I can confirm that indeed there is still smoke on this scene as you take a look at where that explosion and then subsequent fire took place. And I feel like we've, for a large portion of this, been thinking that this were fire crews putting this water, but I think this water is maybe from a sprinkler system, as part of the roof may have collapsed, but the pipe remained intact, and that water just continues to flow out there. No firefighters are putting water on this scene. There is still smoke on this scene, and this is kind of the inside of the building, if you will. I believe where the rescue mission is taking place is the opposite side of that building. We see heavy equipment and crews on the other side of the building, because right now I think going in from this side would be impossible in any terms of any rescue because of the structural integrity of the building right now, severely compromised by the explosion. That's either a wall or the ceiling we see in a large chunks there laying on the ground. So crews are having to go from the other side of the building into that area. There you see a cherry picker and crews on the scene there to go inside and try to complete that rescue mission that you mentioned they're currently working on. But again, still smoke. There are, by my count, 4 medical helicopters that have come to this scene, and certainly many injuries, more of course as we get in from Sky 4. Shannon.
Stay with me. You said you saw 4 helicopters arrive. Did you see 4 helicopters leave? Okay, we're going to get that question to Sam Hall. We know that at least 4 medical helicopters have arrived on the scene. I saw at least one of them taking off. I just want to reiterate that what we're dealing with now at the Clairton Coke Works for U.S. Steel is a rescue operation. We're told that there are people trapped inside the wreckage of an explosion and fire, and now emergency rescue crews are trying to get to those trapped people, and we're going to keep you updated. That's from Allegheny County telling us that. We also know that there are multiple injured people not trapped right now who have already been freed, but their injuries are not critical. Again, Sam Hall was giving us that picture from Sky 4. We saw a lot of water going on to the wreckage there, but Sam has clarified to us that that's probably from the physical plant itself, that there's water within the sprinkler system there. That's busted open, and we're seeing water on that debris right there. Again, a rescue operation underway right now. We just want to pause right now and tell you what the Breathe Project is saying. The Breathe Project is a local advocacy group concerned with the environment. They posted this on Facebook. Air quality alert Clairton and Mon Valley residents. As this plume of smoke spreads, air quality will worsen. People should shelter indoors. Waiting for a health alert from Allegheny County Health Department. Now, I will tell you that in this area, probably over the past 10 years, 5 to 10 years, more health department monitors have been set up just for air quality that everyone has access to. Liberty is the one that is closest there, I believe, and we're waiting to see what those readings are at those air quality monitors that surround U.S. Steel's operation and really are scattered through the Mon Valley, through U.S. Steel's footprint on both sides of the Monongahela River. But the Breathe Project wants us to tell you, and they're posting on Facebook, that you should shelter indoors if you're near this plume of smoke because it could cause some problems for you. They're telling folks to be inside if you don't have to be outside. Let's go now to reporter Yasmin Rodriguez interview with a construction worker who is next to the coke works.
Yeah, they're reporting that people are trapped is what they're saying now. What this article here says, trapped.
Felt like thunder, but it literally we're on scaffold. Shook the scaffold, shook my chest, and shook the building. And then we saw the dark smoke coming up from the steel mill.
Did you realize it was the steel mill at that time? Put two and two together,
and it's like something bad happened.
And in that moment, did you realize it was the steel mill?
Yeah, you could see it from 837 on the road.
Kind of explain to me what that looks like, that black smoke, and did you see the fire actually billowing?
I did not see any fire. I couldn't see the tops of the flames. All I saw was the black smoke, which has dissipated now. I don't know if they have it under control or whatnot, but not nearly as much smoke as there was a half hour ago.
What does that scene kind of look like now?
Every fire department within 15 miles is here. A lot of ambulances, lots of sirens.
Did you physically hear an explosion?
Oh yeah, it sounded like thunder.
Wow. How far is your work site from the mill?
A half mile to a mile.
So everybody on your site kind of felt it and heard it?
Yeah, not even a half mile. We're pretty close.
I can hear the emergency responders in the background of you. Wow. Have you worked in this area for a long time?
We've been down here for about 2 weeks. We're doing a brick veneer on a building, and just so happened to be down here while it was happening.
Any evacuations happening right now in your area?
I honestly, I don't know. I can't speak to that.
Are you guys kind of hunkering down in the meantime?
We're continuing to work.
Let's check the scanner, the audio scanner real quick. Maybe we can get live updates about the supposed people needing help, trapped. Totally.
Copy. Chief, I'm jumping on inverse cameras now. See which way they go. Copy. What was the time for that? 0946.
This is crazy, man. Look at that explosion at this Coke Works facility.
Alright, that's before he was seen on the rear camera of 12 building. 7 to 23. Verify the time slot, please. Make sure their clocks are accurate on their cameras. From 139, walking from where our position is now, they're going to walk to the end of the track and make a left. If you want to have staging, look out for them. Stay. Look dead at you. Copy.
Wow. So this is live helicopter feed. Let me hold on. Let me put on this too, though, so we can listen.
Just requested. I can confirm reports of an explosion and multiple injuries. More details to follow. All right, so Allegheny County Police have been called in to the scene. We know that Allegheny County's emergency management is there as well and working to get there and get the flow of information going. And we are getting some of that very early information about this. We've heard from the union, the USW, U.S. Steelworkers Union, saying that they're on the scene and getting to the scene so they can respond to this. We have calls, emails, text messages into U.S.
You want us to continue our searches here, go down to the mouth of the yacht. Take it down to the mouth, circle back around, and come back up if you wouldn't mind.
The Allegheny County Health Department's Liberty Monitor, that's in the borough of Liberty, it's an air quality monitor, that measured a significant spike of hydrogen sulfide and sulfur dioxide during the breakdown. Again, this particular incident happened just 2 months ago in June. There have been some problems in the past.
They've had some issues in the past at this place.
Back out to Kaylee Gunderson live on the ground. And Kaylee, our latest information from the county is that this is now a rescue operation. Yes, we've seen patients being transported out of there by helicopter, maybe by ambulance as well on the ground. But we know this is a rescue operation too. What's your sense? You've been there more than an hour. What's your sense of those first responders getting to the scene, the experts who do the delicate work of rescue? Have you seen anything in regards to folks going to the scene to help out?
Well, Shannon, we've seen a huge rush of those first responders going in right here on Maple Avenue, straight into the entrance of the...
Okay, look at this.
I don't know what that is, but that can't be good. That can't be good stuff right there. Why are there plants growing in there? That is crazy.
Crazy, man. Explosion. They're saying it's a live rescue happening.
Oh, one guy. He's going to start off where the other dog left off at. And just see if picks up something down here different from the camera just saying. Copy.
I now have 42 emails related to this situation.
I'd be worried about this place blowing up again. Maybe they have to shut some things down in there. I guess they were saying that I believe that's the sprinkler system.
116401. Okay. Alright, myself and the County Bloodhound are gonna attempt to try to track again from where we ended off. We're over near the Crow's Nest now, down on the marina.
Almost sounds to me like they're using dogs to try to track the people.
Okay. Yeah, the circle's fine.
County Night Zone, we're back in the air from the trail access at the bottom of the police line.
In the air at 1222.
How many?
Crazy, crazy, crazy.
Okay.
He has gone silent. Multiple people injured and trapped. Damn. That is crazy. Crazy, crazy. All right. This video of the explosion, apparently. Let's see.
Yes, we've been over here several times in Clairton, no question about that. Continue to see smoke now coming from the plant, from the explosion site. We can see a tremendous amount of rubble, and again, a vehicle that was parked alongside that building is severely damaged from the explosion and then the subsequent fire. We can also see the crews on the other side of that building. We talk about a rescue message that is continuing as you have crews entering from the opposite side of the building because the structural integrity on the side where the explosion occurred, it clearly blew out at least a portion of an exterior wall. Some of the ceiling, it appears that the ceiling had a sprinkler system attached to it, collapsed to the ground. That sprinkler system continues to pour water. They cannot enter the building from that side to try and rescue those that are trapped inside. So this is the crews on the other side of the building continuing to try and rescue people that are trapped inside the building. Also not far from here, we now have a fourth medical helicopter on the scene. 3 have arrived and left with patients. A fourth awaits any more patient. They might need to be airlifted out of the situation. And again, I'll pan down in here and show you all the emergency crews on the scene kind of resting, getting their water, because we haven't mentioned at all the brutal conditions from a weather standpoint that these crews have had to deal with fighting this fire and trying to help these people out and dealing with this explosion. It is unbelievably hot, and they're wearing this heavy equipment and heavy uniform. Just a very, very rough situation here in Clairton. More, of course, as we get it from Sky 4. Shannon.
Mamma mia. We lose the chopper. Might have lost the chopper. Hold up. We got another feed. Oh yeah, they cut it off. Hold on, I got another one. No, y'all gonna leave me. Oh, actually, here's the other feed here. We can use this. Y'all gonna leave me.
Ambulance or by helicopter. And you mentioned a few moments ago the mayor's words. He was here. He obviously rushed to the scene as soon as he heard about what happened, trying to get information himself. He talked about, this being such a staple in the community, but even beyond. I'm even getting texts from people who live in other parts of the county nowhere near here that know someone who works here, and they're immediately concerned when they hear that name that they've heard for years. And then you learn explosion is connected to it. It's a jarring thing to hear, but I want you to hear how the mayor put it, just his concern that he's feeling today.
123, Captain. 123.
My heart goes out to everyone, and these things are not supposed to happen, and unfortunately they do happen from time to time. But God bless everyone. I hope no one was killed, and I hope everybody can recover from this, and it's so unfortunate.
And he was speaking to us right as he had learned that this was a rescue and that there were still people inside that they were trying to reach. And of course, that's an effort we can't see from here. We've got Sky 4 and drone showing us glimpses of that effort from overhead, obviously not inside, but just what's coming out of the plant because of it. We'll continue to gather information here as more people show up to this entrance to the plant.
Thank you for that. I just want to reiterate the latest news that we have from the Associated Press that dozens of people have been injured in this explosion. I want to repeat that for you right now. We just learned from the Associated Press that dozens of people have been injured in this. All right, Kaylee is going to go gather some more information and get more information from the scene there right outside the plant. Okay, Brant, oh, wow. Wow. To pause for a second and tell you that if you are turning to Pittsburgh's Action News 4 right now because you are waiting to find out if your loved one was hurt or killed in this explosion at the Clairton Coke Works, first of all, thank you for trusting us. And second of all, we promise to do our best to get you the most accurate information as quickly as possible. And we promise to do our very best to make sure you are up to date minute by minute as we get through this terrible, tragic day in Western Pennsylvania. And we're not letting go of this story, and we are going to do our very best here.
We are hearing from the people who work in and around the Clairton Coke Works. We're going to go back out now to Pittsburgh's Action News 4 reporter Kaylee Gunderson. Kaylee, what can you tell us? What are people telling you at that scene?
Well, Mike Shannon, we've heard from a lot of people today who felt the shake. They felt the boom when that explosion happened. They rushed here with a lot of questions, some that we're still trying to get answers to, but a lot has happened since then. So I want you to see what we're seeing now here at the front gate of the plant. Moments ago, we saw 2 ambulances with their lights on driving straight into the plant. I don't know where they were going. I don't know, the context surrounding their need here, but those 2 ambulances lit up driving in. We've seen a lot of people flocking to that front gate there, just trying to learn some information. We're hearing there might be a press conference in the near future, but we're trying to find out when that's going to happen and who might be speaking. I know Senator John Fetterman just showed up a few minutes ago. He was here earlier. We heard from him. We got to talk to him, but he's back on scene. Perhaps that's a sign that he could be joining that press conference. I'm not sure about that either, but we're waiting patiently and trying to, get some insights on how soon we might get the chance to ask those questions that we so importantly need to ask. Now, 1 person killed tragically, 2 more people unaccounted for, several others hurt. That is the latest information that we've gotten here. We know, though, confirmation by the governor that this is still an active investigation. We cannot see John Fetterman from where we are standing. He is just out of shot. There's too many poles and signs. Oh, you can see him. Okay, sorry. I'm getting word you can see him there. He's talking to people on scene. We will go follow up as well and try to speak to him in just a few moments, but we did get to talk to him earlier today and ask him what he knew at the time, which is now, consistent with our understanding of this as well. But he just expressed such concern for what happened at the plant, the dangers that these workers face every day. We asked if he considers this to be a dangerous occupation, a dangerous task, and he said yes, but they practice safety the best that they can. can. It's just inherently a dangerous job, and he stressed that multiple times in that interview. I'm interested to see if he has any updates that he can share from what he's hearing from officials, obviously that we would work to confirm ourselves. But as we're trying to get information and waiting to hear from those officials, I'm interested to see what he could share. So we are going to go try to talk to him as well. But for now, this is the scene that we are left with now, hours after that initial explosion. I'll send it back to you now in the studio.
Kaylee, thanks. And while we take it back from you, we're going to get the video from Sky 4 right now. This is a live picture. I want to talk a little bit about what Kaylee just said. She said it's important that we can ask public officials questions. That's part of our process. We had mentioned earlier that, listen, Senator John Fetterman is very close to this scene. He lives nearby, just down the road in Braddock for sure, and, you know, has been a big part of trying to make sure U.S. Steel stays in Pittsburgh and stays, you know, functioning as an employer in this region. He's been the person we've seen on camera and have been able to ask questions of, which is part of our process. We've heard from a lot of government officials through statements and through social media, but what we are waiting for right now, and that will be a big push forward and big step forward in delivering you the most up-to-date information, is being able to ask these public officials and hopefully company officials from U.S. Steel questions ourselves about what happened and what happens now. So we will bring those things to you, and we will not stop asking for those interviews to make sure that you have all the information that you can get, that you get the most up-to-date information on this as well. Sam Hall in Sky 4, what do you see?
Well, they said one person dead, 2 missing.
3 different ambulances pull up onto the scene again. And you continue to see crews responding on the explosion side of the building and the opposite side of the building. As we go around the opposite side of the building, though, we can see still significant damage to the building over here. And again, that dedicated water cannon that continues to shoot water down into a hole on the opposite side of the building from where the bulk of the damage came from the initial explosion and fire. Again, this building has been damaged from top to bottom. The roof has been damaged. Tremendous amounts of rubble on the roof, and crews. Now, this ambulance here just pulled up again on the opposite side of the building. We also see several makeshift or pop-up tents, if you will. I'm assuming for some triage, but also to care for firefighters and first responders on the scene as they continue to work in this brutal, brutal heat. More, of course, as we get it from Sky 4, Mike and Shannon.
Thank you very much, Sam Hall. Live for us in Sky 4. The Air Quality Watchdog Group, the Breathe Project, we've heard from them several times today. They issued another statement. They say Breathe Project offers its condolences and support for the U.S. Steel Mon Valley Works employees and the Clairton Mon Valley community for the horrific impact of the explosion that occurred this morning at the Clairton Coke Works facility and the ongoing rescue and safety assessment underway.
All right, they continue saying this, quote, Breathe Project offers its support to our public officials to help provide useful information about the event, including footage of the explosion from our 24/7 Breathe cams created by the Create Lab Breathe Project. And we've seen this video. Okay, they go on to say this, quote, this is the 3rd major event at this plant in 2025. There was a stack explosion in February 2nd, 2025, a pollution control room malfunction on June 2nd and 3rd, 2025, and that took pollution control equipment offline for an extended period of time. Breathe Project continues saying this, quote, there were no known major documented injuries from these prior to incidents. Unfortunately, the incident today is more dire. A reminder that we're hearing from Pennsylvania's governor that there was more than just one explosion, multiple explosions today at the Clairton Coke Works.
And the Breathe Project has been monitoring the Clairton Coke Works for a number of years, following the environmental impacts very closely. You can see this video. Shannon, describe what you saw earlier today here.
Yeah, absolutely. This is actually video from earlier this summer. And when we had that problem at the Clairton Coke Works, the Allegheny County Health Department reported elevated sulfur levels 2 months ago in coke oven gas. And so that was what.
And then the one guy says, like, oh, yeah, it's like, oh, did you stop working? No, man, they made us get back to work. Like, wow, they're still working over there? There was a lady, too, I saw, I was listening a little bit. There was a lady that was doing an interview, and she had said, I don't know if she said her brother or somebody she knows is like missing. They haven't heard from the guy yet. Major incident. It almost seemed like this was bound to happen. They already had 3 incidents in 2025. And I wonder if it's just one of these things where maybe the bosses or the head honchos kept kind of pushing things back or just putting it to the side and not taking care of it. And there was all the signs that something was wrong and something was happening, and they just kind of kept pushing it by the wayside until we're here today now. I'm in love with the cocoa.
Employing more than 1,200 workers. Pittsburgh's Action News 4 reporter Yasmin Rodriguez is live at AHN Jefferson Hospital with an update. Yasmin, at last you told us 5 people were taken to the hospital here.
Mike, yeah, and that's still the case. 5 of those patients from that plant work explosion here at AHN Jefferson. A spokesperson telling me about an hour and a half ago that at this time they don't expect any more transports from that plant, but of course they are ready. In total, AHN has 7 patients at different hospitals. Like we mentioned, the majority, 5 of those patients here. We did want to mention that we did tell you a couple hours ago that 2 patients were also at UPMC Mercy. The status and the condition of those patients, both at Mercy and here at Jefferson, still remains unknown, but UPMC spokespeople making it known that that hospital is the only region hospital that has that level 1 trauma center and burn unit. So we can only assume that the severity of those injuries do include burns. Now, if you're just joining us, we did speak momentarily ago to Trisha Quinn. Her brother was injured in that plant explosion. She does not know the condition of her brother or what hospital he was taken to. We did reach out to officials here. They have told me that her brother is not here. We are continuing to check different AHN hospitals to see where he is. She's expressing her frustration, telling us that Clairton plant has not given her any update. They've not given family and friends any staging area to come together to find information about their loved one. The only information she received that she knew her brother was injured was from another worker at that plant who said they went ahead and saw her brother being loaded in an ambulance, not looking well. Can't imagine what the rest of family members are feeling right now, anticipating knowing if their loved one is okay. We are still waiting to confirm if her brother is at any of these AHN locations. We've been here for about an hour. We haven't seen any more activity coming in and out, but we will continue to update you if and when we see more. Mike, Shannon?
Can just imagine how difficult it is for those family members and loved ones waiting for word on their loved one who may have been involved in this tragedy at Clairton Coke Works. We are working hard to find out information about exactly what took place and what the status is of those who have survived these blasts and fire
Ruby, thank you.
at the Clairton Coke Works this morning around 11 a.m. Those folks just really desperate for information, as are we, to make sure we get you
the
very best information and accurate information about what's going on with, first and foremost, the victims
people to find
of
out
this
information.
tragedy.
Yeah, our heart goes out to all of the workers who
And they were saying
their families have not been contacted yet. The lack of information just adding to the frustration of so many people right now. Just as soon as we hear from officials from U.S. Steel and county officials, once they piece together a timeline of what happened, we will bring
where's the
you
communication?
that press conference.
Still waiting on a press conference, and I heard them earlier talking about that there's no type of like, I don't know, reunification area or center or a place for the families, maybe to like get some information directly about what's going on. I guess obviously they're still in the middle of all this. And so they said 1 dead and 2 unaccounted for, but then they also said dozens trapped. Are those people still trapped? The dozens of people? Dozens injured or trapped under the rubble. Or does that 1 dead and 2 unaccounted for, is that the final number? Like, there's no people trapped besides. They've probably been pushing some of these issues to the wayside because it'll cost money. They don't want to have to pay or stop operations or fix things. I wouldn't be surprised.
3/4 of a mile to a mile to the north. To the west is Jefferson Hills, and to the south is Elizabeth and
In June, U.S. Steel, Nippon Steel announced they had finalized a historic partnership, a deal that gives the U.S. government a say in some matters and comes a year and a half after the Japanese company first proposed its nearly 15 billion buyout of iconic American steelmaker. The pursuit of Nippon Steel for the Pittsburgh-based company was buffeted by national security concerns and presidential politics. A premier battleground state dragging out the transaction for more than a year after the U.S. Steel shareholders approved it. The politics, money, purchases, or partnerships, I guess. In February, a problem with a battery at the plant led to a buildup of combustible material that ignited, causing an audible boom. Wow. 2 workers who got material in their eyes received first aid treatment at a local hospital, but were not seriously injured. Last year, the company agreed to spend $19.5 million in equipment upgrades and $5 million on local clean air efforts and programs as part of the settling of federal lawsuit filed by Clean Air Council. The fire at the Clairton plant knocked out pollution controls at its Mon Valley plants, but U.S. Steel continued to run them anyway, environmental groups said. The lawsuits accused the steel producer of more than 12,000 violations of air pollution permits. Oh, is that somebody right there? Oh, whoa, hold on. Let me rewind that for a second. Did they pull somebody out? Oh, where did this person go? Look, they got somebody on a stretcher here. Looks like somebody on a stretcher and a gurney. Let me see if the news is talking about it.
So we are here waiting at this point, hoping for a press conference of some sort, some answers, a chance to really ask officials questions about what has happened here, and hopefully get some updates on the people who were hurt or those 2 people who we learned are unaccounted for. We know one person has died. That, of course, is top of mind for people in the community who have showed up seeking answers about what's happened. That's shocking to them, but, you know, they want to know more.
Well, top of the mind for the company is probably damage control, finances. How is this going to look for them? This is not a good look. Publicity, business deals. It looks like they brought somebody to the back of the ambulance. What a crazy situation, man. What a crazy mess out there.
We're going to stay put. We're going to be here and wait for the chance to do that. And we'll bring you any updates as soon as we get.
Let me see if I find any other little updates. Coking plant.
Within 1 mile of the plant are advised to please remain indoors, close all your windows and doors, and set your HVAC systems to recirculate the air. Don't bring...
Damn, recirculate. I wonder what it's like living near one of these plants. Do you get a discount? They should be paying for the community or something. You should get a discount for living in these communities. But I guess probably a lot of the people in the community probably work at these plants. The county sent 15 ambulances on top of the ambulances supplied by local emergency response. It's the largest coking operation in North America. Coking is a refining process that upgrades heavy residues from crude oil distillation into lighter and more valuable products and petroleum coke. It is one of the 4 major U.S. steel plants in Pennsylvania that employs several thousand workers. Whoa. Reporters said that the explosion happened inside of the reversing room of 13 out of 15 battery, citing multiple sources inside the plant. It's a room that acts as a mechanical regulator, making sure that coal bakes evenly in the oven, I'm told. Okay.
As possible. They want to thank the community for the already incredible outpouring of support from the community. So many people asking, hey, how can I pitch in? How can I help? This is how you can do it.
Yeah, great information there. There are a lot of folks who are getting in touch with us who want to find a way to help, and this is a way that you can do it, and we're going to keep you updated on this as well. So we want to bring Sam Hall and Sky 4 back in to break down what you're seeing. Sam, I'm waiting for EMS Chief Emergency. Actually, we're going to not go to Sam Hall right now, but if we can talk about this explosion, multiple explosions at the Clairton Coke Works. I think, Mike, I'm hoping that we are getting very close to getting a live news conference, possibly with Allegheny County Emergency Management Chief Matthew Brown. I'm hoping to hear from Allegheny County Executive the executive, Sarah Innamorato, as well, and people who are involved in the rescue operation and the response to this tragedy at this U.S. Steel mill here in Clairton.
When a situation like this happens, it's clear the response is to go in and save lives. That's the number one focus. We have not heard from county officials right now about when that news conference will take place.
Yeah, and I want to urge you to understand that Mike and I are both getting a lot of information. We've got computers here, we've got our email, and we've got text messages coming in. There's a lot of information that it is coming in. But what we're doing is working to confirm information that we receive, and we are vetting it and making sure what we tell you is the right information. And that information does have to come from those elected officials and people close to it who can confirm the very latest about what's going on.
Yeah, in the meantime, we thank you for being a part of the story, contacting our newsroom, learning what you have learned, and share that with us. Then we can take that information and bring it to the officials to get the confirmation. So please keep that conversation going.
Yeah, no doubt about it. What happens in Clairton really happens to our entire community, and I know a lot of you are watching with information about what is going on right now. And I just want to reiterate, there's been multiple explosions at the Clairton Coke Works, a U.S. Steel mill, where they make coke, which is part of the steel process in the Mon Valley. And we know one person is confirmed dead, 2 people still unaccounted for, and dozens of people have been injured, and all levels of severity after this, multiple explosions and fire at the plant.
Right, and Kaylee did mention earlier that seeing John Fetterman at the scene for a second time, we spoke with the senator earlier this morning. Here's what he had to say on camera.
This reminds everybody how dangerous of a job it is to make steel here and down here in Coke, and you know, back then, 5 years ago, they did an amazing job to rebuild it quickly after that. So my whole thoughts go to the families. They've lost someone today, and it's just absolutely tragic. And now I grieve for these families. And again, I'm proud to stand with the steel workers and to make sure why we do anything possible after this terrible tragedy.
So, Senator, were there safety concerns?
Yes, that's what I've been heard, and then there's one up to 1 people that are now unaccountable and trying to find after that as well too. I mean, let's hope that's just not the case. But my God, it just reminds people of how dangerous of a job this is.
That's a body, yeah. That was just a body.
And we also heard from Pennsylvania's junior U.S. Senator Dave McCormick. He released a statement on X. He says this, quote, "Thinking about all those involved in and responding to the explosion at the steel plant in Clairton. I'm monitoring this closely as additional details become available. In the meantime, Dina and I will be praying for all those endangered and their families.
If you are just joining us, we are hearing from other elected officials as well. Congresswoman Summer Lee commented saying, quote, "My team and I are aware of the tragic explosion at the U.S. Steel Clairton Coke Works plant. My heart is with the workers," she says, "especially those injured or trapped, their families, first responders, and the entire Clairton community. Please follow local guidance and avoid the area as we gather more
Damn,
information."
that's true, Jake.
Let's get back out to Kaylee Gunderson. So many of us, Kaylee, just kind of...
Jake said you can lose your whole life at work and they will still try to find a way to rob you. Damn.
Information on the search and rescue mission, a delicate operation going on right now, waiting and hoping for some kind of hopeful situation, but really, waiting to see what folks can tell us officially about the latest on this tragedy.
Well, Shannon, yeah, we're certainly hoping to get the chance to ask those questions soon and learn more about what happened here. If you zoom straight in, you can see a group of people kind of huddled near that hometown burgers and delis. That's just to show you a sense of how urgent this is. That's a group of reporters, journalists from all over. This is becoming such, it's calling a lot of attention to this area. People are asking about it, and it's our duty, of course, to give them answers. So that's just a glimpse into kind of the media attention here. All of us staged in this area waiting for the chance to go ask our questions to officials wherever they end up calling a press conference, hopefully in the near future. But we've seen a lot of people showing up today with questions. Rumors spread and they hear things, and you just want to set the record straight and give people the clarity about what happened here. Top of mind, the biggest thing we're hearing is about the people impacted, of course. We know several injured, 2 unaccounted for at last check, and 1 person who did not survive this. People want to know about who that person is, who their family is, and the families of the others involved. We've seen a lot of nice, really kind words about those families before we even knew that this could potentially be fatal, when it was hopefully just injuries, nothing worse. We heard a lot of really kind words from people across the state, different backgrounds and political views, sharing just the care for this community. We saw Senator John Fetterman show up. He's from a town not far from here, of course, just like this, that has such an emphasis on a plant, and this being a real driver for the local economy.
So there's an ambulance leaving, I guess, there with a police vehicle behind. But as some people pointed out, it didn't seem like they were in any rush. So I don't know. Could have just been a body. Could be somebody deceased. I don't know. Unless they were stabilizing somebody. But it really did seem like somebody had said too that it seemed like a body bag, or I don't know. They just seemed, you didn't see like a face or anything. It just seemed like something zipped up completely. So doesn't sound good. Somebody in the chat said too that a press conference at 3:30 Eastern. We'll see. I'm sure maybe they're trying to hold out as much as they can to try to notify the families and find whoever's missing. It is like somebody said, like Jake was saying in the chat, it's kind of messed up how some of these jobs. I used to work at a hospital. I remember I worked with this really nice lady that, because I feel like that what you said, you can take it in multiple ways. Like you give your whole life, either you should dedicate your whole life, or you can actually lose your life in this case. Oh, we can see what's happening here. Helicopter. But this lady was like a year or 2 from retiring, and they fired her. Right before retirement, like nothing. She dedicated a lot of years in that job. And so, she could still retire, but I guess she probably gets less or something. These places will toss you if they have to, like nothing. Throw you over the boat like nothing if they have to. So you should always look out for yourself, Whatever's going to benefit you and your family. Don't feel bad about leaving. I remember one job I felt a little bad and stuff. Don't feel bad, man. If you get a better opportunity, more money, maybe benefits, leave, man. Fuck the place.
Now, Mike and Shannon, certainly some hopeful to report from Sky 4. As just moments ago from the opposite side of the building where we saw the major portion of the damage from the explosions and fire, they have taken a person outside of there, or from there, put them in a gurney and now put them in the back of an ambulance. That ambulance stayed at the scene for about 2 or 3 minutes, and now that ambulance has traveled over to the helipad here at the Clairton Coke Works of U.S. Steel, and hopefully that's a person that they're going to quickly get away to the hospital. So the hopes for maybe certainly one, maybe more, has been found inside the, as the search and rescue mission was continuing. Hopefully we've had one. This is where that ambulance just drove away from literally 45 seconds ago, and there was a large gathering of employees and first responders on that scene. They continue to work on the back side of the building there, where from where the initial kind of significant damage was done to the building and the roof. And you can see some damage from this backside as well, but on the front side is where it all kind of collapsed, and I think they had to work from the back due to the infrastructure and being safe and getting into the building. And so far, they continue to work. But right now, we do have that update. Someone just going to yet another medical helicopter on this scene. More, of course, as we get it from Sky 4. Mike and Shannon.
The explosion happened more than 4 hours ago. Responders have been working tirelessly in that search and rescue mission. We saw some signs. This is one of the questions we're going to be asking officials today at that 3:45 news conference, but that is a sign of hope that someone is being brought to the hospital.
Yeah, we are working to learn more about that person who's being transported here about 4 hours after the initial explosion. And again, multiple explosions have taken place at the steel factory, and we're waiting to see exactly the condition of everyone who's been injured in this, and again confirming that at least one person has died in this emergency and this tragedy here in the Mon Valley. There's also a weather situation to talk about, and we were going to get to meteorologist Jeff Rosella. Jeff, I am thinking about those firefighters and those responders who do have to deal with some weather today.
Yeah, the temperatures are running in the mid to upper 80s across the area, and it is pretty humid outside, so they need to stay hydrated and probably take regular breaks as needed so they don't get overheated. But one of the situations you guys have been alluding to is the air quality situation in the localized area around Clairton and where the explosion occurred. The Allegheny County Health Department asking folks that live within a mile proximity in any direction of the Clairton explosions.
Those people that within the area have to kind of shelter in place, stay indoors. Let's see if there's any updates on the some of these articles. Multiple explosions.
And limited to the immediate area surrounding the Clairton area, as evidenced by the Allegheny County Health Department asking folks that live in close proximity to stay indoors until they get a handle on the air quality situation. But again, the good news here is it looks to just stay localized. You're not going to see any of this particulate matter blowing far away from the actual site, given the fact that winds are generally light from a southerly direction.
All right, thank you, Jeff. A short time after the deadly explosion, now we learned explosions happened at the U.S. Steel Clairton Coke Works. Pittsburgh's Action News 4 reporter Yasmin Rodriguez spoke with one man who was working nearby.
Thank you, Exotica.
And
Thank
felt
you for
the
10.
explosion. Take a listen.
Tell me what time it happened, what you felt, what was going on.
Oh, I would guess it was probably about 40 minutes ago. Time has flown by.
Choppers leaving.
Felt like thunder, but it literally we're on scaffold. Shook the scaffold, shook my chest, and shook the building. And then we saw the dark smoke coming up from the steel mill.
Did you realize it was the steel mill at that time?
Put two and two together, and it's like something bad happened.
And in that moment, did you realize it was the steel mill?
Yeah, you could see it from 837 on the road.
Kind of explain to me what that looks like, that black smoke, and did you see the fire actually billowing?
I did not see any fire. I couldn't see the tops of the flames. All I saw was the black smoke, which has dissipated now. I don't know if they have it under control or whatnot, but not nearly as much smoke as there was a half hour ago.
What does that scene kind of look like now?
Every fire department within 15 miles is here. A lot of ambulances, lots of sirens.
Did you physically hear an explosion?
Oh yeah, it sounded like thunder.
Wow. How far is your work site from the mill?
A half mile to a mile.
So everybody on your site kind of felt it and heard it?
Yeah, not even a half mile. We're pretty close.
I can hear the emergency response.
Oh, they've been repeating everything? Yeah.
Have you...
There's a helicopter. I don't know if they're able to put whoever it was inside. Oh. Audio for this. Medivac. One fatality that we know of, yeah. Thank you for the diamonds.
Tell us that would help?
From my understanding, there was construction going on down there. It might have been because of the Nissan merger or Nippon merger. I'm not sure. But
that Nippon thing. Yeah,
it could be due to some type of construction.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the Chinese did it.
I can't speak facts. This is all opinion.
Can you still see that smoke, though, right now?
No, not from where I'm at. It's kind of dissipated enough that it's really not the same billowing cloud that it was when it first happened.
Mayor Bauer or Bowser.
Who are here. It's also important and we will do this in our communications with them, understand what they're looking to see. The fact that we have more law enforcement and presence in neighborhoods,
what's wrong?
Could not.
You can't find it?
Under stressful conditions.
She continues saying, for generations, U.S. Steel and the Clairton Coke Works plant have stood as symbols of Western Pennsylvania's work ethic and determination. Our region's story has been forged in the heat of steel mills by people who do not back down from challenges, but instead stand shoulder to shoulder in hard times.
In the face of heartbreak, she goes on to say, we will not waver because in Western Pennsylvania, we are forged in steel and we do not break.
I want to mention here, Mike, in this moment that, first of all, we're waiting for a news conference to begin in just about 23 minutes or so at 3:45, and we are going to take that news conference live. We're expecting to hear from the county executive, from county emergency management, from county police, and also from the U.S. Steel Company themselves about information. And hopefully it is we get a lot more information and details about the tragedy today. I also just want to mention that just moments ago, 4 hours after the initial explosion, we saw another patient taken by ambulance from the blast site to a waiting helicopter and then hopefully off to get treatment at a hospital.
Yeah, that's one of the signs of hope. We are hoping to learn more about that person who was taken to that heliport and then taken away to the hospital. We will learn more about that as soon as that 3:45 news conference begins. Sam Hall showed us in Sky 4 that person on the transport. And Sam, describe what's going on now.
Right now, that person has been transferred from the ambulance into this helicopter. Stat Medevac getting ready to take off from the helipad. You can see they have now lifted from the ground, and they will get away. We'll actually back up a little bit here in Sky 4 to give them room to do the things that they need to do heading toward downtown. But right now, that's a helicopter that just took in that person from an ambulance. Again, this is from the back side of where the explosions really.
Sam Hall really doing a job for us, 4 hours strong, showing us what's happening above the U.S. Steel plant there at the Clairton Coke Works. In fact, U.S. Steel just posted a message to X. They say at around 11 a.m. Eastern Time on Monday, an incident occurred at U.S. Steel's Clairton plant, specifically at Coke Oven Batteries 13 and 14. Emergency teams were immediately dispatched to the scene. David Burritt, President and Chief Executive Officer of U.S. Steel Corporation, says this: "Our top priority is the safety and well-being of our employees and the environment." He goes on to say, "We are working closely with relevant authorities to investigate the cause of the incident and will provide additional updates as they become available."
David Burritt, the U.S. Steel CEO, continues saying this: "Nearly 1,300 dedicated men and women work at the Clairton plant each day, performing their jobs with the utmost safety. During times like this, U.S. Steel employees come together to extend their love, prayers, and support to everyone affected." In the moments after the blast, the initial blast, multiple explosions here today, we also heard that the union, the United Steelworkers Union, was sending representatives down immediately to help those impacted by this.
And as we await that 3:45 news conference, we are continuing to hear from leaders, elected officials, and other leaders in Western Pennsylvania. We just received this message from Pittsburgh Bishop Mark Ekman of the Pittsburgh Catholic Diocese. He says, "It is with a heavy heart that I join our neighbors in mourning after the tragic explosions earlier today at the Clairton Coke Works." Goes on to say, "My deepest prayers are with the person who has died and with those who are injured and with the workers who are still missing. I pray especially for their families, friends, co-workers, and all who are carrying heavy worry in their hearts right now."
And the bishop continues saying this, quote, "We give thanks for the courage of the first responders, medical teams, and all who are working tirelessly to bring help and hope in this difficult moment. At difficult times like this, our faith calls on us to stand together in compassion, in prayer, and in care for one another." The bishop goes on to say, quote, "May our parish communities be places of comfort for those who are hurting, and may the Lord grant peace to the one who has died, strength to all those who mourn, and safety to all who serve." We want to repeat what we know and what we have been able to confirm really with our own eyes and the images we've been able to bring you through our teams, through our people here are working around the clock here to make sure you have the most updated information. Our photographers giving us those images. Sam Hall and Sky 4 showing us how rescue workers have been able to get one more patient at least out of the wreckage of the fire and explosions at this steel mill and get them to a waiting helicopter and off to medical treatment. We know that there are dozens of people who have been injured, and there are many now mourning at least one person who has lost their life.
That person you mentioned, Shannon, that we saw being airlifted from the scene via helicopter there, we don't know if that person is one of the two people that were reported unaccounted for. But again, that person was airlifted more than 4 hours after the explosion. Just again, two people, the last report was two people unaccounted for and dozens injured. So many people brought to different hospitals throughout Western Pennsylvania from the scene. We have seen 4 medical helicopters arrive and then take patients away to area hospitals. We've seen ambulances on the scene as well, taking the injured away. We know that Pittsburgh's Action News 4 reporter Yasmin Rodriguez has been updating us throughout the last 4 hours with those injured at the various hospitals.
Yeah, what we do when we cover stories in Pittsburgh, it's about people and the people who are really hurting and concerned and feeling a great deal of stress and anxiety right now, wondering the status of their loved one who works at this plant and wondering if they're okay. And we are working hard to get you the very latest information. We're about 15 minutes away from getting a finer, clearer picture of exactly what we're dealing with as far as injuries and casualties. We do want to go back to Pittsburgh's Action News. We've got a lot of crews out in the field, really close to where the Clairton plant is, and they're in position to get this news conference for you. But people like Sheldon Ingram have been bringing you the stories of folks who heard and felt that explosion and who know these steel workers who were surely in harm's way today, and the emotional toll it's taking on this community where this plant and factory sits at the heart of the community.
We heard from U.S. Steel just moments ago via the message that 1,300 employees work at the Clairton Coke Works. We are waiting that 3:45 news conference where we will hear from someone from U.S. Steel, in addition to County Executive Sarah Innamorato and other local county officials, about what happened, about the response of what happened. As As soon as that news conference begins at 3:45, we will go
45.
back to Pittsburgh's Action News 4
What?
reporter Kaylee Gunderson, who is waiting for that news conference to begin.
Yeah, and I want you to know we're working to have some sensitivity to the situation. We know that there's loss of life here, and we also want to make sure we balance that with giving you the updated information that is important to you. We've got an ambulance here. It's unclear how once the person who has died in this has been extricated from the wreckage, that person, the victim will then be taken away from the scene. And we just want to kind of hang back a little bit and give a little room to the delicate and difficult situation happening on the ground right now. As we see, there's a tent up here, and we're just kind of scaling back a little bit and taking a wider view.
We mentioned that Pittsburgh's Action News 4 reporter Yasmin Rodriguez has been checking on those injured and where they are taken. We're going to go back to her right now, she joins us live from AHN Jefferson Hospital. Yasmin?
Yeah, Mike, we know that 5 of those injured patients have been taken here. 7 in total have been taken to different AHN hospitals, 1 at Forbes, 1 at AGN. And we also do know that 2 people were transferred to UPMC Mercy. Now, we told you about that hours ago. UPMC Mercy officials telling us that they are the region's only burn center and level 1 trauma center. Now, a spokesperson from AHN confirming to me just a few moments ago that more ambulances and helicopters are leaving that Clairton plant site. He does not know if they are expected to come here, but he says that he is standing by, waiting for an update, and he will give us that update. We know that an ambulance from our crews on the scene at that plant just left about 10 minutes ago. We are waiting to see if they are coming here. We've been here at AHN Jefferson for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. We have not seen any of these people coming here just yet, but like we just mentioned, we don't know yet if more people are coming. Now, an hour ago, we did speak to Trisha Quinn. Her brother is an injured plant worker. She doesn't know the condition, where he is, or how he's doing, and she says the whole situation is heartbreaking.
All right, I think I'm going to have to get off for now because I got to go. We got to go to gymnastics. There is a supposed to be 3:45. They said 3:30. Now they're saying 3:45 press conference. But maybe I'll just do a clip of it, or I'll post something later of an update. But yeah, I guess I have to head out for now. But thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. Condolences to the victims' families. And we'll see. I don't know. We'll see if it was just, the one person they said, or is there other people? Are there people still trapped? That's what I'm wondering. What's going on with that? I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. I will catch you later. Be safe. Bloop, 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 bloop. Mel takes gymnastics. Imagine that shit. I probably should.